Now, you guys are a lot more online than I am, but I spend far too much time scrolling in the middle of the night like everyone else. Whether it's your algorithms or whether it's friends' algorithms, what are you seeing about the role of influencers? Because a lot of them are being used by political parties, mostly of the left, to get their message out. We know what happened when it came to Trump, but it doesn't seem there's as many people on the centre-right as there are on the left. What are you seeing online at the moment, outside of the obvious, normal, paid political stuff?
Well, I'm not on TikTok, first of all, so maybe Freya's better.
Chinese surveillance app, get off.
Deliberate, not only Chinese surveillance, that is reason number one. The second one is no one wants to see me doing a choreographed dance. That was my main reason. I'm too old for this crap, But mainly the CCP stuff. But I do see it, and I see, Freya's very big in this space now as well. I hate that everyone sees themselves as some kind of influencer or wannabe influencers. People even see journalists as influencers and try to get me to flog stuff, and I'm like, no, this is not, I'm trying to report the truth and what's happening. But obviously I'm seeing that our politicians are popping up in all sorts of odd places. One huge example was how the Prime Minister sat down for a 90-minute interview, I think it was, with Abbie Chatfield. Now, she is a graduate, if people don't know her at home, and I don't blame you, from the Bachelor franchise. And she is an openly Green supporter who began that podcast interview with Albanese, who doesn't come on to do hard interviews with Sky News hosts. He'd maybe do 5-minute things here and there. She said that her goal was to get Labor re-elected. So they're doing these sorts of softball interviews, and I think they're hoping for a
people like me who are as equally opinionated.
Well, exactly, because your goal is not to get them re-elected.
Yeah. Freya, when you're trying to fight in this area, obviously there's lots of little tips and tricks, but are you feeling that it is a lot more tilted to the left than, say, the American election was?
Well, it depends which sort of area you're looking at. If you just compare the analytics of the parties, the Liberal Party is actually outperforming Labor massively on social media. So that is one positive element. But then again, if you're looking at the influences on the ground, it is so skewed. When I post on TikTok, and I've had a bunch of stuff go viral over the last couple of years, since The Voice really, but still, you just get ratioed hard in the comments. So you'll have like hundreds or thousands even of lefties commenting, and then some brave conservatives might like your stuff, and that's radical. So I think the challenge, and this is going to be a big challenge for centre-right parties, especially here in Australia. I think this is the first election where Gen Z and millennials are outnumbering baby boomers. So we're seeing this huge demographic shift. At the same time, we're seeing the decline in influence of the traditional media. In the US, Trump leveraged this to his advantage, but the reality is that here in Australia, our political social media landscape, especially on the right, is just so empty that I'm struggling to see what the pathway here is. And I think Dutton's made a few inroads. He's been on a couple podcasts, but there's still a long way to go.
I think it's growing, though. Freya's definitely leading the charge there. And on X and Facebook, I think those are the places where the centre-right really leads. But Instagram,
and young blokes
TikTok,
are a lot more conservative
YouTube
than anyone wants to admit
well.
at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Ladies, thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for helping us out tonight.